Welcome to the Toku Portal podcast, everyone. It's me, Zero, here with.
Right.
Drago.
And today we're talking about Kamen Rider Build, episode 18. Picking up where we last left off, Banjo had just gotten a new upgraded form. Together, he and Sento had defeated the three crows and took some of their bottles. And then Kazumi, Kamen Rider Grease, shows up. And he's pretty strong. He actually knocks Banjo out. And Mizora rushes over to Banjo's aid. He sees her and cancels the attack. He is stunned by her and just calls it all off. When we later find out why, it's actually kind of hilarious. Anything on that? No? Okay.
Not really.
I was gonna say, considering his Kiva character, that's pretty much what he would have done too. But otherwise, nothing much.
Back at the lab, Sento tells Banjo not to use the Splash Driver anymore. He's stealing the spotlight by being stronger than he is. Right away, hearing this, I knew Sento was lying through his teeth. We find out why when he gets a call from none other than Soichi. When he stole the data for the Slash Driver, he brought it to Namba, who was able to build one. But it's difficult to use. It doesn't actually bring out the full potential of the bottles like it's supposed to. It just injects the user with nebula gas. Kind of an oversight, if you think about it.
Actually, it was really uncharacteristic of the center to do that. So even I figured out he was lying. And also the fact that he kind of broke the fourth wall.
Oh yeah.
They're saying that, kids will be sad if I don't get the hero spotlight. And that was really funny.
And Banjo is just like, "What? You think you're the main character of this show?"
Yeah, that was really funny.
I mean, I think he said more like the kids in Toto, so because all the TV crew are gonna be focused on him.
Yeah, he was making it sound. The way he was saying it did make sense in context, but it was also clearly a commentary on the fact that they're in a show.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. As for the phone call, I'm like, Sento built it. Wouldn't he be the one who knew that it's gonna inject people with nebula gas?
Katsuragi designed it. Sento's merely finished it.
Yeah, and also the fact that I don't think that they could actually be a way to increase a full bottle's power without that side effect. I think he couldn't figure out a patch or something.
Also, when you said that, yeah, you could tell the way he was acting that he was lying. Sento has a habit to sound a little standoffish when he lies. He's trying to deflect the blame onto himself to protect them. It's both a good and a bad trait in him. Later, during the phone call, even though Sento lays through him, everyone just eavesdrops on him anyways. So yeah, Banjo hears all that stuff about how the driver is dangerous to use, and it'll just make him go mad.
Well, it was very nice that everybody figured that out, that Sento was lying in this scene, and everybody just went to eavesdrop, and they knew it was not. The phone call was from someone like Soichi or wait, I forget Toku.
No, Soichi. Soichi's Bloodstar, Gentoku is Night Rogue.
I know, but I'm talking about like they might have figured it out that he's getting calls from someone important.
Oh, right, right. Well, there was also that little bit about like, oh, does he have a girlfriend? So Misora and Sawa were eavesdropping no matter what.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess that's a funny enough reason. I also like Gentoku in the like intro, uh, where he's like talking and then he gets mad and Tento's like, "Ah, don't be like that. Like, you can keep going." That was pretty fun.
So Sento agrees to work with Gentoku to stop the war. While they're having a little talk about this, Kazumi hijacks a TV station to give a message about the war. Uh, Civilians who stay out of the way of the battles shouldn't get hurt. They're not going to target them. They're there for the bottles, and once they get them, they'll leave.
What a load of crap! I mean, like that
Right?
would have. They just blew up like a significant section of like downtown, right? Like a couple of skyscrapers are just
No, no,
gone.
no. From here on out, though, they won't be doing that shit.
Yeah, because I'm sure everybody fucking forgives when you like 9/11 on your first day of the war, right?
It was not even one 9/11. It was like 500 9/11s at the same time.
We saw tanks. Okay. There were tanks.
Yeah.
All right, fine. So it's more like Man of Steel on your first day of the war.
Yes.
Oh man. We get a little behind the scenes thing where Kazumi is talking with Hoshiko, where if you don't remember, Yoshiko is the Prime Minister of Hokuto. Apparently they aren't in full agreement about things, and it seems like some, if not all of them, are kind of being forced to do what they're doing.
It's a hostage situation. Basically, the people of Hokuto are basically held hostage by the Prime Minister, and Kazumi has to comply so that they are a bit freed. I think that's the reason.
Say what you will about Gentoku, he didn't enslave Toto as soon as he was in charge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. The other thing also is like I feel like Katsumi is that like he doesn't have family, but like the crows do. So that's why he's like, yeah, I don't give a shit. Like, don't get attached to me. I'm gonna wipe your memories regardless of how close you get to me. But when this is all done, so I was like, that's interesting. Like, how like is he running their version of Faust or whatever? I mean, like, I guess Faust is kind of more of a Toto organization, but who knows?
Regardless, Gentoku has a bunch of guardians sent to the TV station, and Grease just has a field day slaughtering them. It was actually a pretty good showcase of his fighting style. And then when the riders show up, the three crows get involved. They may have lost some bottles, but they still have the ones that they used to do their own like little transformation with. Build, however, didn't bring his own bottles to use. Can't risk them getting stolen, so he only brought the ones that they stole from the crows. And tries out a new best match, Phoenix Robot. I like the Phoenix half. The robot half I'm a little iffy on. What do you think?
Well, on the Phoenix half, if it was like two halves of Phoenix combined into one, then it would look really cool of a form. Phoenix robot, I don't mind the form. It's a cool looking form even with the robot half, because the Phoenix half actually makes the robot half better. I get your point, but still, I find this form really cool.
I think I just need to see it a bit more.
Yeah, I can't say the same about the other form. I don't like the giant phone.
That's pretty much the only thing that holds that one down. What do you think, Zero?
I mean, the Phoenix form is nice. It just kind of felt like a different version of Hawk Gatling. And I was like, man, I want to see like Phoenix and Hawk, but they're both animals, so they wouldn't work.
Yeah, they're both the right side.
I mean, do full battle bottles have like a limit, or is that just a guy memory thing?
I mean, that's how they've been showcased so far. Is that animals have always been the right side and the machines have been the left side.
That sucks. I mean, like the weirdest thing is like you see like I think all three forms, and like I like the animal sides for all of them,
I don't think
and
we
the
saw the third
machines.
one.
Okay, okay, but like the wolf phone one, yeah. With I mean, it's just a shield, but like if it didn't have that, it would be a fine form as it is. As for like the robot, like yeah, I don't like the robot side that much, but the Phoenix one is pretty damn cool.
Yeah. The other
Uh,
form, Wolf
Quint-
smartphone.
yeah, Quintavis Lockhart says she actually really likes that one.
I like it. The phone shield is just a little off because it doesn't look like it fits in, but it's just a big Fies reference. And I don't think we saw the third one that he stole. I think it was just those two, and then
Yeah, and then Grease kicked it out of him in the next scene.
yeah. One thing I accidentally skipped over was that Sento tries to henshin with the Splash Driver himself, but it rejects him. He can't use it yet. So Banjo does it, saying, "If I die, no one would miss me." Which we already know that's not true. There's at least two people that would miss him.
I say three, four if you count Soichi.
I don't.
So witchy. Oh
Yeah,
god.
his game would be ruined because a player died.
That's great. I mean, like the only thing I could think of when like Sento does, not, you know, well, I guess Sento does this thing too. But when like Banjo said that, like nobody's gonna miss me, therefore I should go out and fight. I'm like, oh, that's like the perfect secondary rider to do, or have like a have fighting motivation. And then like Grease says like, oh, I'm just here for like a challenge. I'm like, that's the perfect fucking like enemy writer thing to do. And then Sento's like, dude, don't be stupid, I'm here to save everyone. And that's like the perfect main writer. I'm like, oh, whoever wrote this is like cliche 101, you know. But I'm like, it's so well
It's
done.
yeah.
It's so cliche, but it works so well. And you buy the relationship between the primary and the secondary rider. They have, since they have been there from episode one together, the friendship that has been formed in them has been really, really good, well set up, so that this scene makes total sense.
It has been amazingly well built up.
Okay.
Once.
Yeah. I was gonna say, Contavous says the Phoenix Robosuit is just a remodified Hawk Gatling, so I guess
Oh
that's why we can't see that suit anymore, which
wait,
sucks.
they blew up the suit.
Maybe.
I hate
um,
Yeah, I think, yeah, it seems that Bonjo is gonna be getting the hawk wings, at least according to what one of my friends told me.
Well, at least Banjo will get some more bottles to use. Locke will only take him so far.
I mean, he's not even using Rock; he's just using Dragon.
He does use Lock when he has that dubstep sword.
Right? Like, okay, that has less likelihood of coming back because now he has a built-in weapon. Right? It might come in as like his third power up because somehow now a thing is like, oh, you had a weapon in form one, you're gonna lose that in form two, in form three, it's gonna come back. You know, because I guess dual wielding. I don't know.
Yeah.
Dual wielding is always cool.
So while Sento toys with the three hawks, Banjo loses his fight against Grease. When Grease goes to the finisher, Sento jumps in the way and takes the hit for him. It causes him to lose the bottles he stole, but he spared Banjo. And as Zero went over, he yells at him like, "What do you think you're doing, throwing your life away?" It it was a heartwarming scene because it was really well built up. And then Misora and Sawa drive in a minivan, and Misora tosses Sento the Rocket Panda bottle so he can escape with Banjo. When one of the crows tries to attack the car, Grease stops him. He realizes why he recognizes Misora, because she's Miton, and he's a super huge fan. And that's the end of the episode.
No.
No? Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Okay. One more depressing bit of news. I guess Contevas is like a smart, smart wolf is Key Dragon. That suit.
You know what?
No!
We weren't going to see Key Dragon again anyways.
I know, but it was a nice suit. I mean,
that probably explains. Nice suit.
That probably explains why, like, Smartphone Wolf looks so decent, because it's based on a really good suit. That sucks.
And it occurs to me that if they're going to keep this up, they have set up the potential for 30 different forms. I don't think we're going to get all of those. This isn't O's, but if they're going to try, just redesigning existing suits is way easier in the long run.
Yeah, considering they just...
It's cheaper as well.
Yeah, they just repainted and then built like a new helmet. Not even that. And then, I mean, considering we saw one of the new ones being used, and it's just Chopper, it's just a blade. So maybe they're kind of doing a Forza thing where it's like some of them are forms, some of them are just add-ons.
I know. I don't think so. I think it's just for like. I think it's just for the Clash driver that you get that function, and it's not gonna be add-ons. For like, if you use it in Build driver, I think the add-ons are only like for Clash driver exclusive thing.
It's kind of like how in Xaid, a Gashat could be used to summon whatever weapon it represented without actually transforming with it.
Yeah, it could be that. Like, I mean, yeah, go ahead.
Brave could still summon his sword when he was using one of the higher level Gashats because he still had Tattle Quest.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, then again, like Tattle Quest had like a really cool thing going on, and then I guess it was just too CGI intensive, so they didn't use that, which kind of sucked. But hey, I mean, at least it's more use out of like previous lower level items, so that's good.
Right. And that's what I'm saying is like the kind of idea behind the Splash driver when you're using a bottle, like you're just using what it can do without using it.
Yeah, and also the hide me thon thing was really, really funny, and I was so surprised when I saw that. They build it up to be something serious, and then it just like, it's Mita, and then that was so funny.
It could have been like, oh man, it's his long lost sister, or like he knew her before when she was at Faust. Nah, he's just a super huge fanboy. The actual end of the episode, thanks for reminding me about this, is that Gentoku in his office is approached by a visitor. At first he thinks it's Soichi visiting him, and he starts to yell at him for siding with Hokuto, but is shocked to see that it's his old assistant, Utsumi, who he shot off the bridge when he took the blame as Night Rogue for him. That's how the episode ends.
Okay, no, actually you got the detail wrong. It was Gentoku who went to Nanba's office, and he was actually gonna scream at Nanba.
I said it was Gentoku. Oh, okay. He thought it was Nanba approaching him. Okay. I did say it was Gentoku. He thought that it was Soichi approaching him, but you're right. It makes more sense that he thought it was Nanba. It's like, hey, you built their driver? What the fuck?
Yeah. And this actually now I think Nanba fled to Hokuto. That's funny.
No, I mean, the problem with that is like Hokuto would force him just to make their weaponry only. If he fled anywhere, I think he would have fled south.
Yeah,
Because
probably.
at, at least they would allow him to have freedom, and they're all about like wealth at the end of the day. So they probably support him, weapon just building weapons for both sides and sitting on the sidelines until they're weakened. Plus, like
Oh
Mm.
God.
Namba Industries has this habit of building in like back doors. You know, like the Guardian robots can be turned. So like if they build stuff with what's the south one, Saito, in
Yes.
in mind, like they could have like an off switch for the new ones that like Hokuto and Toto got.
No, I don't think there's like an off switch for like the Clash Driver. What do you call it? This guy, Cento build, but there might be one for one that. Wait, I forgot his name. Kazumi has.
It was used the exact same data that Sento used, so I don't see why they would be that different.
Now I know they are not different. I'm just saying, like how kill switch could be added.
Oh, a kill switch.
Yep, Kabuto all over again.
I'm really hoping that Namba isn't
Nah,
being
I was
set
more
up.
thinking. Okay, wait. I was more thinking along the lines of the Genesis driver from Gaim.
Okay, so I didn't see enough of that.
Okay, okay.
Genesis is the second one, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
the
the
one
second
where
one.
it's the one where no matter what fruit they use, they get a bow.
Oh yeah, yeah. I I know that. I don't know like the full details of it because I think I dropped out right before 20 or something. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, what were you saying, Ray?
I was saying that I hope Namba isn't being set up to be the next Foundation X.
Hey, at least he fucking does shit.
At least he's doing shit like before the last 3 episodes, you're right. But still, I don't need that again.
No, I don't think so because okay, wait. I was gonna say this. The build is already. It's been confirmed that build is taking place in an alternate universe. So
I mean, Faust is already a much better Foundation X. They pretty much won, sort of. And like it's weird. Like Faust is like a better Foundation X, and Namba is kind of like a better. Shit. What's the company from Amazon's?
Oh,
Nozoma Pharmacy.
Yeah, yeah. Like a better, slightly better version of that. I mean, season 2 they're better, but season 1 they're kind of just like, what the fuck?
No, season 2 they're bankrupt.
I know. Well, that's because the government and everybody sued them because they couldn't keep quiet. Like the news finally broke.
Oh,
so they had
God.
like
we made a bunch of monsters now. People are pissed.
Yeah, so they had to like fund the cleanup efforts. I mean, it's not like they're like the company is bankrupt. I don't think like the actual people who had money probably still have money. They would just file like bankruptcy for the company. That's why they still have a little bit of power in season 2. Or, well, we'll see what the fuck they do in this movie. I thought it was going to be season 3, but I guess it's going to be the Amazon's movie. Because, whatever. Season 2 is interesting, kind of. It's like a side story, though. That's kind of the problem.
Oh.
No, I mean, like, the main stuff happens. It's just like new characters get introduced and they're pretty much off by the end of season 2. So it's like, right, you can watch this, but like it's almost like the side thing that happened, and like the real end is gonna be the movie most likely. Yeah, it's weird. I mean, like it's not bad, it's just a different direction.
Well, that's that was all the notes for the episode.
Oh wait, I noticed something else when they were flashing back to Utsumi dying. the distance between the bridge and the water was a bit shorter than the what we saw in the episode.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. What we saw in episode 12, it was a bit shorter.
Also, this just confirms, like, if you don't see a character die, if you do not see them die, they did not die. We saw him get shot, we saw him fall in the water, we didn't see the life drain from his eyes.
Yes.
I mean, to be fair, this is the same show that you see. Holy shit, boss, you're dead? No, you're a coma. Okay. Oh, what? Now your body's on fire? It's fine. I just went to bed. Kamen Rider Build. Oh, what? Oh, what, Garn? You're doing the suicidal run? You dove off a cliff? It's cool. I'll be back next episode.
God damn it! That was so dumb!
I
know, it's such a great episode like, if that didn't happen.
And, like, he didn't even... When he came back, he didn't even do anything that called for him to be back. The one thing he did could have been done by the other guy.
At least when Taiga fucking fell down and looked like he almost died in X8, it's like, alright, he came back because, you know, they're all doctors, they're saving his life. And at least he did shit once he came back.
Yeah, he was still a prominent character. He had a huge epic battle after that.
Yeah. He got a final form.
Garin sat down, had his belt stolen, and just went, well, this sucks.
I mean, to be fair, if they didn't have Garn, like, with 2 riders only, they'd be pretty much fucked.
They were! For a week!
No, I know! They weren't like 3 weeks, though, of, like, non-stop fighting. Like, if it was just Blade and just,
the angle.
The angle, they'd be dead in a week.
Well, here's the thing, like, by the time Garin got back, like, the next, or that night even, like, Blade went off to do the final thing and end it all. Garin didn't have time to do anything.
No, I'm talking about, like, you know, when it cuts to, like, the final episodes and it shows that they've been fighting for, like, 3 weeks. You know that Kuga thing of, like, oh, it's been, like 2 weeks between the last 2 episodes?
Yeah, that was just Blade and Lee Angle.
No, Garin was there too.
No, he wasn't. He hadn't come back yet.
No, he wasn't. He hadn't come back at that point.
Okay, that's stupid.
Yeah, he didn't come back until after, and by the time he did come back, Blade was ready to do the final battle. And he stole Garin's belt to do it because his was busted.
God, that's stupid. I mean, Blade is great, but it's kind of stupid at the same time.
It is one of the 2 biggest problems that I have with Blade.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
But still, it's the best. It's one of the 2 best rider shows I have ever seen. So
it is genius. It is a genius series. If you haven't seen Kamen Rider Blade, despite some of the spoilers we just gave, go watch it. Go watch Blade.
Yeah, just if you don't like the first 10 episodes, don't worry. There are a lot of people who don't like it either, but after that it picks up and goes ahead.
The first arc lasts the first 15 episodes, and it's at the end of episode 15 where the show does like a heel turn on you.
I mean, to be fair, like, we've kind of said somewhat spoilers, but it's all the dumbass shit that, like, if you're prepared for it, it's probably gonna not hit you as hard. It's like, because if you're not, you're, like, sitting there after that episode, it's like, wait, what? What the fuck just happened? You know?
That was pretty much me.
This stupidity, because, like, if you watch it a second time, you're like, that was kind of dumb, but this show is great. You know? So if you know some of the stupid things that happen, it might be a little bit better. Hopefully, I don't.
Yeah, when I rewatched the series, the first arc was a lot easier to get through.
Yeah, I liked the first arc actually. It made the air of mystery in the middle.
Yeah, I actually kind of liked it, but it depends on like how much you like Because
Tachibana.
It's very Tachibana heavy. The the problem is you have to get his character, and his character you don't fully understand until like midway through the show.
Right. It's not until after the first, because Tachibana was at his best, and then by the time the show starts, he's already hit the decline, and the first arc is all about his decline, and that's why I kind of didn't like him. He was just this whiny character, and it's not until he recovers from it that you see him at his best again. And so when I rewatched the series, I knew what he was like at his best, and so I could relate more. I could like appreciate the fine work in the first arc a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, like the weird thing is like it was Fize and then Blade, and both of them, you like they're better on the second watch, right? Like,
at least I have to watch Fize the second time. I think my opinion on it will improve if I watch it again.
Yeah, because the thing with Fize is like you have to know what the fuck everybody's end goal is, kind of, and you have to watch what they're saying. Like you have to read constantly between the lines. It's not what they're saying. It's like, okay, what does this character want and why are they saying it? And they're constantly misleading people or not saying like exactly what they mean. So like if you're not into doing that, or if you haven't seen it a second time, like it can be kind of like a mess. I mean, the pacing is kind of terrible, but
yeah, but I really like that show. It was pretty fun.
I only saw it the one time, but I do really like it. Fize is probably my favorite rider. The thing I don't like about the show is that Lucky Clover are weak villains.
Yeah, I think the whole point, the worst part of Lucky Clover is that it's a writer show. Like that's the symptom of Lucky Clover is like, because let's say if it wasn't a writer show and you didn't have to have a writer fight every episode, like Lucky Clover either would not exist or would be a lot more threatening because they would only show up when it's important.
That's like how I feel they could fix it. If we didn't actually see a bunch of those meetings happening, if we didn't know that like the guy that Takumi fights like 10 episodes in is one of the Lucky Clover and he beats him 3 times in a row, they wouldn't have been felt so weak. They would have been more threatening because, oh man, if they had that guy, like who else do they have? But because we knew that he was one of the top 4 and Fize was already beating him before he got his best power-ups.
Yeah, and also the fact that we got Fize's actual ending like 10 years after the show.
The Yango movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
Oh,
you should.
It's so good.
It is amazing.
The thing is, like, Lucky Clover is kind of a mess, but because the same writer wrote Kiva, like, Checkmate 4 are way more threatening. Like, you forget how good the fights in Kiva are. Because they show up and shit gets real. Like, literally, you have to throw everything at, like, one of them. Right? Like, if 2 of them show up, it's fucking over. You pretty much always lose.
The Knight was, like, the good version of that other guy I was talking about from Lucky Clover.
Okay, you mean Rook.
Oh, he was the Rook?
Yeah, Knight is the first enemy that Kiva kills, like that blue horse dude.
But, yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah, it's like, it's Rook, Bishop,
King Queen. Yeah, and when like King and Queen kicked the ass of Kiva that day, that was fucking savage. In Emperor form, that too.
That's the other thing in Kiva is like they get their strongest forms, and the bad guys are still like, we have one form, and we're still able to pretty much kick your ass.
Unlike X-Aid, where the plot is about the bad guy having to beat the hero in the last half.
I mean, to be fair, he stole the heroic power, you know, and then decided, you know what? I'm gonna use the end villain, and I'm gonna take the hero's power. So like, there's nowhere to beat that except if you cheat. You know, like Kronos is a bullshit writer because like he's endgame, and you put 2 of them. Like Game Deus and Kronos are both endgame villains, and you put them both in one arc. It was fucking nonsense. So the only way to beat
Game
them is
Deus got shafted super hard for how much he was built up. It was Kuga's
Yeah,
final
at
boss
least Game
levels of
Deus is
bad.
redeemed. Game Deus is actually redeemed in the true ending movie.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's probably for the movie it works out better because like whenever you see Game Syndrome in the movies, it's way more dangerous.
Yeah, okay, I think I gotta go now.
Oh, okay.
All right, final thoughts, Drago.
Nothing.
Okay. This was a good episode, and I enjoyed getting a look at some new best matches. I didn't think we were going to be getting any for a while, if any.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with Rai. I guess I don't really have anything else. Good episode, though.
For those of you that were thinking, like, man, we got really off topic there, we didn't really. The bottom line is that Rider villains can be pretty hit or miss. But thanks for joining us tonight. We'll be back next Tuesday for Uchu Sentai Kyo Ranger. It's only got like 3 episodes left. And next Wednesday for more Kamen Rider Build. There's a war going on. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us, everyone, and see you next time.